Hi, everybody, and welcome to Be in the Know, Table Games and More. I'm Benny Mancino, better known as the B-Man, and I'm your host tonight, and I'm very excited to have Angel Espino as my guest tonight for the second time. Been a while, though, been a while. And Angel will be at the Global Table Games and Protection Conference here coming in March, and we'll talk about that in a bit. But Angel, welcome to Be in the Know.
Oh, Benny, thank you for having me here. I'm excited to be here again. I appreciate the invite.
So Angel, you're the principal or the owner of casino development, casino gaming development, right? Of
Correct.
Colorado.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We're coming out of Colorado. We work in Blackhawk and the casinos up in Blackhawk.
So all your manager members or members of this organization, they're all dealers, correct? Am I right about that?
Oh, yes. We're all dealers. At one point, we all worked in the same property. One of them, Kathy, now works in the property down the street. But at one point, we all worked together, and that's how we all met. Uh, when I started the business in 2016, I brought in Kathy Lou, then Tommy came around a couple years later, and then Colin came about 2 years ago. And little by little, I started building the team because initially I would just bring dealers around that I thought they were good dealers, personable. Then it started evolving because this certain group they started showing interest in game development. So I kind of taught them everything I know, and now they're starting to grow in their own right.
Well, so I was out at the G2E this year, and your little booth was packed constantly. I
Oh, thanks.
mean, and I think it was a watching what was going, and even it was crazy because all the cool guys, all the guys who've been and really made this into the legends, they were all hanging around.
Yeah,
They were checking it out, so it kind of drew a crowd. And I
yeah,
think the personalities and all that made a big difference. So you could just tell, you could see the
yeah.
difference it made having real dealers and not model spokesmen or whatever that learned the game maybe
Yeah.
yesterday. It
Yes.
really made a big difference. So when it comes to developing games, I would think being a dealer, you got an edge. Am I wrong about that?
Oh, you have an edge 1,000% because especially the group that I put together, like Tommy, Colin, and Kathy, not only are they great dealers at what they do alone, hands down, they're personable, they're good at their skill set, but they pay attention to every detail of what the players like, what they don't like. So we're there 40 hours a week and doing R&D. But yes, being a dealer, it's going to help because if I pitch an idea to the guys and go, hey, I'm thinking about this game, it's 3 cards, blah, blah, blah. I mean, they'll dissect the game. They'll tell me, nope, nah, it wouldn't work. Why not? Because of this, or we've seen this before, or this happened, or you might change this around because of the pay sequence or game protection. So having a team that's cohesively, we've been dealing for over 80 years together, all of us. With Megan Zippy too, she's a dealer that comes out and flies out with us, and she's kind of growing into the company and she's learning the industry, and she's an amazing dealer, very personable. And so by having that team of us, that's about over 80 years experience. That's a huge advantage compared to other developers. And I respect all developers 100% because this is not easy industry. But being in the hands-on, being in the industry, you have big advantage.
Well, you see it all the time. You see people bring in games, and they're the guys. He owns a pizza shop or he owns what, and he brings in a game, and it's his child, and he's all excited about it, but it don't have a chance. It don't
Yeah,
have a chance because it never had a personality, it never had any kind of behavior analysis or anything going on. But you
correct.
guys do watch the behaviors of the players. You
Yes.
listen to what they say. I mean, they could say something like,
Like,
seven
like,
barbecue,
what?
and then
Yep.
the next thing, you're
Yeah.
making a new game, and we'll get to that here in a minute.
Yeah.
But
You're right.
that's the kind of things that happen. So I
Yeah.
think being on the front lines is just an edge. And
Yes.
I think this is where a lot of vendors, not just table games developers, miss the mark. It's in quality control. They
Yes.
don't have somebody who's really in the business out there in the field saying, hey, you know what? This is just this thing doesn't work for this jurisdiction or person or whatever,
Yes.
and they're not asking the questions of the consumer, the business to business consumer, like, what do you need? You're saying our cards don't work? Well, why don't they work? Show me what's happening.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
this is where your company, and don't get me wrong, Angel, I think it's very hard to succeed as a game developer. I mean,
Oh,
it just,
it's the
with
toughest thing I've ever done.
the patent the way it is, it's just
Yeah.
really hard. The good thing for you, you're a smart enough guy, you're into the analytics, that you can make a product that's so good that somebody's going to want it.
Right.
Another thing that Angel does that I've noticed is that he understands from a business to business perspective what I need. I
Yeah.
need hands per hour. I need this
Yeah.
game to go. I need it to be fluid to where the
Yeah.
dealer doesn't struggle to pay off the bets. And I
Yes.
always tell people, in this one time I spoke, I was talking about when Ultimate Texas Hold'em came out. The layout looked like a cockpit of the 747, and if poker wasn't so popular at that time, that
Oh,
game would have never made it. I'm sorry, Roger Snow, the game wouldn't have made it. All right, that's but it did because of the
yeah.
popularity of poker.
Yeah.
But you've got that edge, right?
Oh, yes. Especially when we have a new game and I have a new concept. What I do is I order the layout first. Of course, we do preliminary math, just preliminary math. And if the math's kind of jiving pretty good, I'll order a layout, table layout with no pay table, and I run it through the team. And we'll deal hands to each other. We want to make sure that the flow is good, dealing procedures are good, game protection is good. We're not exposing a card. How do we show the cards? Do we keep them stacked? Do we put a cover? What do we do and how are we going to deal it? Does it adapt to your shuffler? Does it, you know, surveillance? Is the flow of the game really well? Is a supervisor behind you or on the sides? Can they see really well the way you're going to show the layout, the pay table, the chips, where the betting spots? We analyze the game. We break it down from A to Z. And if we find a flaw, we redesign it, shuffle it, and then if it works well and if we're having fun, if it's something that's catchy, if the game feels good, I would play it. Then we move on to the next stage, get the GLI math, then go to the patents, copyrights, and trademarks. But yeah, we break it down from all the way from rules of play, the game protection side of things, procedures, making sure everything flows. And like you said, the game has to flow really well. If I can't teach a dealer in 2, 3 hands, I got a problem.
Well, if a dealer's not ergonomically or whatever you call it comfortable, right?
Correct.
When they move around the layout, they're going to slow down.
Yeah.
They're going to slow down. You see it all the time where a shuffler's in the wrong place or a discard rack is in the wrong place. I recently showed a picture on my LinkedIn of a company or a property that had mounted the shuffler reverse on the wrong side.
Oh,
So the dealer had to go, the cards, they're supposed to come out the front like here.
right,
And
correct. Yeah.
he had to go out, they had to turn around like this to take the
Oh,
cards on. They had a right hand MD3 mount on the left hand side. And
oh,
it was crazy, and
oh,
it's just
it exposes you, exposes the the undercard. It can expose you by not looking at game protection, by looking away. All those little things, minute turn away, you're turning away from your rack. From so it's yeah, that could be that can open for a lot of just game protection issues.
so I talked about people saying things on the game. Let's talk about, what is it, 7-6 barbecue?
Yes, kind of this it's cool that you said that we always have our ear to the ground as we're dealing. And Kathy Lou was supervising the Baccarat pit, and she called me frantically. He's like, Angel, you heard of seven barbecue? I'm like, yeah, I hear it all the time. I'm dealing Bach. I'm here. I hear it every day. She's like, wait, do you know what it means? And I'm like, well, let's do some research. So she knew already, and it kind of broke it down. So we did some more research and kind of what the players were saying. I would listen to, go, what is barbecue? And they'll tell you, okay, so when the player has a 6, the player can't hit on Bach. So he's done. So they hope for a 7 because nobody has to draw. They're so like, it's cooked. It's done. Barbecue. so we kind of liked the concept, and I'm like, well, that's kind of cool. So Kathy had the idea. She kind of pitched, like, well, why don't you create a side bet, a side bet? So I called my mathematician. Noah Dean is amazing. This guy is a brainchild, and we were working on the math, and he's like, not only can we create a side bet, but we can make a non-commission game based on the 7/6 banker win. So any 7/6, it's a banker push. So that would entice you to hedge your push and just bet on the barbecue. So even if you win with a 7/6, you're gonna get a push, but you'll win somehow. So the casino gods blessed us with the math came out perfect, the house edge came out just right, and we were able to design a whole game around the 7/6 concept. So we filed for patent copyrights. So we got approved for barbecue baccarat. It didn't exist, thank God. So we were able to lock in barbecue baccarat, and it's all based around 7/6. The game flows really well because if you don't see a 7/6 outcome, you pick up all the 5 side bets. There's a banker, big barbecue banker, small barbecue banker, big player barbecue, and small. And then you have like any craps, any barbecue covers all 4. So if you don't see a 7/6, you just pick up all the bets and then you go on paying taking. So I think that's where we were very lucky that the math worked out for us all the way around.
So you probably got to be very sensitive on your logo. You know, I mean, you're not barbecuing a pig or a chicken or yeah, you could get into trouble. I'm not going to go there, but I'm
Yes,
just
yes.
saying you could have a problem with the logo. Okay, but yeah, I seen the game. I like the game.
Thank you.
I think it's going to do very well for you.
I
So
appreciate it.
you've got you got a couple games that are actually out in properties, and one
Yes.
of them is triple shot poker. Tell us about that.
Yes, three shot.
Three shot.
Yes, three shot poker is we just went live at the Flamingo and Harris properties, and we're excited about that launch. The day we launched it, the table got busy. Every time I have friends that are flying out, they go play it. They're like, "Hey, I can't even get in a seat on the weekends, or it's busy." So that's a good thing. We're hearing really good things about that. We're also at Firekeepers in Michigan.
So do you have I know you were working on an online deal. Do you have any of these games on the online platform yet?
Yes, we're in the middle of development with Oddsworks. We're gonna roll out three shot poker, and we're excited about it because it's gonna have some amazing features that they're just gonna take the game to another level. So we're super excited about that. I already saw the layouts, the first concepts on your phone, and I'm excited. It looks really, really, really good. So hopefully within the next 3 to 6 months, we'll be able to go live.
So now when you move on to iGaming, we're talking a whole brand new ball game now. Now you
Yes,
can add more side bets. You can make the layout doesn't become an issue.
yes.
The amount of bets don't become an issue. Pace doesn't become an issue realistically because it's one guy on one, unless you're talking about a live dealer platform. So that opens up a whole new world to you, doesn't it?
It does. It does open a whole new world for especially new game development. We can come out with new games that we're not too concerned if the dealer can deal it or not. Procedures wise, mathematics, if you can calculate the odds really fast online, a computer can do it for you. Hands per hour, it can be faster. So yes, those are great opportunities to tap into the iGaming space. But we're creating games for right now. We're working on some games that are just gonna be focused on iGaming. But our main focus is also on games that are you're gonna be able to play them on both online and on table games. That's crucial for us because if let's say three shot poker takes off online, what we feel is going to happen is a lot of those players are going to want to visit Vegas and be like, I'm going to look for that game in the brick and mortar space. And so we want to keep the games true to the integrity of the game and how it's played. And so everything is consistent. So the player doesn't get confused like, well, online is this and brick and mortar is that. So we want to focus on games that anybody can play online, easy to play online, and also in the brick and mortar space, easy to deal and play and easy to catch up on a game.
Well, this iGaming thing's a monster. I mean, if you don't
Yeah.
know, Michigan did over 2 billion last year.
Wow.
Pennsylvania did over 2 billion last year.
Yes.
I'm trying to think. There's one other state that did around 2 billion last year. So
Yeah.
it's crazy. I mean,
And
and the growth is just growing at such a rapid rate. The thing that's a bit concerning to me is that I do think some of these smaller casinos that don't have an online presence are going to have a hard time synergizing. You know what I mean? Because
correct.
what you're going to see is just like you said, the guy who plays online is going to want to come in here. So you got to
Yeah.
maybe craft a promotion that gives him something online that drives
Yeah.
him to the
To,
casino and
yeah.
something at the casino that drives him online. And
Correct. Yeah.
I think that's the only people, the people who are really with it and
Yes.
get it are
Yeah.
going to survive, and other ones are going to crumble very, very quickly. This is
Yes.
happening. Look, you think about sports betting. There was no sports betting, what, 5 years ago?
No.
But wasn't such a thing. Now there's 38 jurisdictions with two now pending. Georgia and
Wow.
Mississippi are about ready to go online. Now
Wow.
Mississippi has land based, but they don't have online sports betting. And I
Yeah.
really think, listen, anybody trying to kid you and say, hey, they're making a lot of money with sports betting, they're not. It's not a big high margin deal,
And
but
it's
it is
very
a
competitive.
segue. It's a segue to get online, a comfortable platform, get your legislature comfortable, get your religious right comfortable, and now
Yeah.
move iGaming into areas where maybe brick and mortars would never be allowed. So
Correct.
it's a crazy time in this industry, and
Yeah.
man, you and your team. Now, let me ask you this. This came up in my mind. That's the way thing I wonder. So
Yeah.
don't get too far off track. Give me a virtual slap. But your team is so diverse, and
Yeah.
skill sets are different. Do you
Yes.
have like part of the team working strictly on the iGaming type, or does everybody work on everything?
I think my goal is to make everybody strong. I try to teach everybody all my skill sets, right? Game development, not only game development, how to work on the math, what to look for, the RTP, the RTH, the house edge, the hit frequencies, things of that nature. But also walk them through the game design. I'll show them layouts, I'll show them logos. Uh, then we all talk about procedures and things like that. But each one brings a something strong skill set. Like Kathy's really good at sales. She works in real estate. Colin is really interested in marketing. He always showing me like, look at these guys are marketing like this, online space. Tommy is amazing at game protection and math and prop action. So each one brings a strong point to something to the team.
And you have a little bit of skill in the art world, right? Just the
A little
touch.
bit of, yeah, a little bit of skill in the artwork, and I think that helped me with the logo design and the layout design. I do have a great layout designer, Deb Conoscente. Dan Stein does a lot of my marketing, but having a little bit of eye in design kind of helps. And I know what colors to look for, and then we do a lot of research on trends, and where the trends going in gaming and also in design, and apply design. Our layouts are some of the best layouts you're going to see. They're just beautiful. Logos and
Very,
layout,
very
and
cool. Very
thank
cool.
you. Yeah, we put a lot of energy on that, almost as much energy in the game development. Because if it doesn't catch your eye, if you can't stop for 10 seconds, then we failed. So we work on the logo, on the layout. Is the layout clean? Like you said, doesn't look like a cockpit of a 747 plane. We even on the pay table, we want to make them super clean. 1, 2, 3, 1 to 1, 2 to 1, 3 to 1, then 5 to 1, 10 to 1, 20 to 1, 50 to 1. If the math is available, if the math allows us to, we adjust it so the payouts are super clean. We don't want 18 to 1, 22 to 1, 27 and a half times.
Or
Like, no.
254 to 1. I seen a game with 254 to 1. I'm like, I'm afraid this isn't going to work in a real casino.
So,
So question I had for you, you
yeah,
guys are all dealers. And one thing
yes,
haven't seen from you yet, which it might be in the works, but I haven't seen from you yet, is dealer envy
yes.
bets. I think I'm the father of dealer envy bets. Maybe I'm not. But when I
Oh,
was at
cool.
well, it wasn't Hard Rock, it was Jack Cincinnati at the time. We had a terrible
Uh-huh.
side bet. I mean, so a side bet that gives a player a decision is a bad side bet. Let me just tell you, folks, don't ever put a side bet on a game where after the player wins, they have a decision to do something else, because you're going to lose 3 or 4 hands per hour on that. So don't ever have that. So I had this side bet that was horrible. So now I want to put 21 plus 3 in because it was the best side bet, blackjack side bet in the world at that
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Well, of course, Galaxy Gaming is not licensed in Ohio. So now I start shopping for a copycat, right? So I find one copycat, and the guy, he's kind of in bed with Cy Games at the time, and they want 80% of the deal to bring it into Ohio. Well, because Ohio's fee was like 50,000 to get in there as a
Oh,
bet at
oh,
the time.
oh, wow.
It may still be, I don't know. But anyway, so he was out. And so now I'm getting crazy. I'm about ready to just put perfect pairs or something better than this thing that's taking up all my time.
Uh-huh.
And I finally said to the rep, I said, listen, you're telling me your Light and Wonder or Cy Games, whatever their name was, they've changed so many times I don't even know their name. But anyway, I said, you're telling me you don't have a copy of 21 plus 3? And the rep said at the time, said, well, we do have this one game, but we've showed it around and nobody likes it because it's got this weird dealer envy. And me being a former dealer, I like, whoa, wait, run that back again. Tell me what you mean by that. Well,
Yeah.
she said, well, every time the player wins on a particular hand, there's a payoff that they get at the same
Oh,
time.
yeah.
So a flush pays them $1.
Oh, cool.
A straight pays 2, 3 of a kind pays 5, and a straight flush would pay 10. So
Yes.
it's automatic, right?
Yeah.
So I put this bet in, and immediately the dealer's toke rate went up by
Oh,
$2 an hour, right?
oh, wow.
Then they started seeing how good it was. Now, when a guy had a straight and he didn't have the bet, the dealers were saying, oh man, look, you had a straight. You should be betting this because they got money. They had skin in the game,
They got skinny game, yeah.
So dealer envy bets. Any thoughts to that?
I haven't dealt the game with a dealer envy bet, but I've heard of a craps, like it's like a craps side bet that has a dealer envy bet. Like if you hit, a big jackpot, the dealers get a percentage. I haven't dealt in one, so I couldn't really have an opinion. The only thing that I could see an issue is, as a dealer, I'm speaking as a dealer point of view, is that then players start becoming dependent on that dealer envy and not worry about tipping you.
Yeah,
It's like,
that didn't happen. That was
oh, good. Oh, good.
that was a fear,
Right.
but,
Okay.
but that didn't really. All it did was take the stiffs and turn them into tokers, but
Oh, awesome.
it didn't turn the Georges into stiffs.
Oh, good.
Let's put
That
away. It really worked perfectly.
I like it.
Last time I heard, the toke rate down there was off the charts. So now dealer envy bets are all over Ohio.
Oh,
Trilux or the dealer envy. So, but
that's cool.
it's best on a blackjack game because you're going to have more occurrences.
More
It's
hands
really
per
going
hour.
to
Yeah.
make a difference. So yeah,
I think
that
it's a
might be
great idea.
something. That might be something in the future.
Yeah.
I'm just
It's
putting it
something
out there.
that, oh, I like it. I am always open to new ideas and suggestions. If it doesn't hurt the dealer or it doesn't hurt the house in any way, or it doesn't, encourage, uh, you know, players, dealers to be hustling, things like that. You also got a
Yeah.
collusion. You got to be careful with all those things. So those are things that we look for,
Yeah,
not only
it was so perfect though. They had an investment, right?
right.
And they were
Yeah,
making so much money. There really wasn't much thought of collusion because the
good.
dealer, the toke rate was great. And
That's
like I said, it
good.
was like having a marketing guy right on the game.
Oh,
They were
oh
going
yeah.
after it.
Oh
And
yeah.
and then at one time we had people who wanted a $5 game. Well, I couldn't offer a $5 game. It wasn't
Yeah,
profitable enough to
yeah,
cover, what it cost to run one game, one floor, one dealer. But so I said,
correct.
okay, well, let me think about this. I wonder if Ohio would allow me to make a mandatory side bet. So I did. I got him to approve a mandatory side bet. So we started a 5-5 game, which was
Oh,
$5 on the main bet, $5
yeah.
on the side bet.
Yes.
Yeah,
I
and
I
it
like
was
your idea about the handle when you mentioned it in a podcast about a $25 minimum bet, but you make it the whole handle, 10 on the main, the aggregate.
aggregate
Yes.
bets. Yes, that
I love that idea. The reason I like it is because by making a game mandatory $25 bet, it hurts all your side action, right? Because the player just, look, I got $200, that's 8 bets, and then they'll never bet the side action. So by making it a $25 aggregate, you might have 10 and 5, 5, 5 on the side bets where the house has a monster advantage, 13%, 8%, 17% house edge. That actually works best for the house. And then the player feels like, I'm going to have fun paying a $10 hand with $5 different bets here and there. I mean, it works for everybody. I love that concept. That is genius.
Being a craps dealer, you've seen this, and this is where that, if your boss makes a bad decision on the moving up of the game, the yielding of the game, right? So
Yes,
now there's, you got your game's busy, but there's not people three deep, and now they move the game up to a $25 minimum crap game. What happens to the prop bets? They go away. You've
they
taken
go
the guy,
away.
you've forced him to bet a better bet. You forced him to
Yes.
bet the line, and now their
Well,
prop action is gone where you
it's
got
gone.
14%, 8%, 12%.
Yeah,
It's gone.
it's
So
gone.
aggregate wagers still keeps the person they got to be a $25 wager, so you don't get the $5 guy sneaking in
Right,
because you
right.
got to bet $25, but yet you let the players bet the money where they want to bet them. If they want to
Yeah.
bet them on bad bets, that's their decisions. uh,
Yeah. And
yeah,
that's what they
so
want. And that's what players like. They like those big payouts with a very house hedge, but they like those big payouts. They like the excitement of hitting a hot bet or, any kind of a feature bet that pays them 100 to 1 or 100 to whatever to 1. But let them bet it, 15 on the line and 10 on the hard ways. Okay, so what?
yeah,
You know?
there's a story that goes that I'm not going to go into the whole thing, but a guy had a hamburger shop and he gave away free pickles, right? So it got so big he had to hire somebody to run the place, and the guy cut the pickles out. And
Oh.
people just love these pickles, right? They love these pickles. So they wrote these terrible letters about this, they can't get the pickle no more. And the guy went to his CEO, he's like, what happened? What
Oh.
I getting all these complaints that he says, well, these pickles costed. He says, listen, just give them the pickle. So if a person wants to bet a bad bet or whatever, let them bet.
I'm gonna start saying that on the craps table. Just give them the pickle.
Yeah, maybe we can do a game out of that. Just give them the pickle. Okay, so we got the global table games and protection conference coming out. This is the third edition,
Yes,
but it's not the third edition of the table games conference as a whole.
correct.
You're a veteran of this conference, and actually, they have a best new table game competition there. And I'm
Yeah.
starting to think you're like the James Grosjean. James Grosjean is the greatest AP of all time, and when he gets invited to the blackjack ball, he wins the tournament 7 straight times, and now they barred him. What, you can't play. You can come to the ball, you can eat the food, you can drink the booze, but you
Yeah,
can't play in the tournament. So,
yeah.
so are you excited about this year's Global Table Games and Protection Conference?
Yes, we're excited. We won 4 in a row. We won 2 with the Cutting Edge Table Games Conference, which was the one before. We won gold, and then with the new the Global Table Games Protection Conference, we've won 2 back-to-back also, 2022, 2023. So for this year, 2024, we're bringing 2 of our strongest games, Barbecue Baccarat, which we think it's a great bet, and we also have a 5-card Pai Gow. We redesigned the game of Pai Gow. Instead of 7 cards with multiple houseways, so confusing, we just made it a 5-card Pai Gow, 3 for the high, 2 for the low. Players can understand it a lot simpler. Dealers don't make that many mistakes. So we're bringing 2 games with the Dragon and Asian New Year. We want to focus also on the demographic. One of the fastest growing games is Baccarat. We're excited about that demographic, so we want to bring something to the table in that realm.
Asian gaming has taken off, and it just keeps getting
Yeah.
bigger and bigger and bigger, and it's actually causing some issues, like for card production and that, because baccarat just going nuts. So you're going to
Yeah.
bring them 2 games to the conference.
Yes.
Anything else new that you're going to be bringing? That just them 2 games, or any other domestic
Well,
games?
yeah, we're bringing those 2 games to the conference, and like we've been doing in every conference, we like to give a sneak peek to our to all our operators. We'll give them a little sneak peek of what we're bringing to G2E. So I'm working on a new Texas Hold'em game. It's called Pocket Rockets Poker, and we always bring a layout and we kind of show it to our operators, give them a sneak peek, a heads up of what's coming ahead in the next 6 months. So we're gonna launch 2 games. The public could see it, and then we're gonna bring an extra game just to give a little sneak peek of what's going on. We like to give a little extra to our operators, give them a heads up of what's coming, and then also get the feel kind of feedback from them. It's like, well, I don't like this feature, I do like this feature. Same thing with Barbecue Buck. You were at one of our VIP events and you got to see it firsthand and play it, get the feel of it, and get some feedback. We got a lot of great feedback about the game. Where is it probable? Is it playable? Is it catchy? So we got so much great feedback, and that prepares us for the Table Games Conference. It's almost like preseason before the big show.
So what about electronic table games? Have you had any interest from
Yes.
the big 3 or 4 there?
Yes, I've been approached by a couple of companies, and I've had some talks with some big companies. There's some interest there. I'm working on an ETG, have a concept for electronic table games for craps tables. And I found 2 issues with the electronic craps tables that I feel like the new concept that I have will resolve those issues. Whether it's sliding dice or collusion or advantage play. The new concept that I'm working on is going to eliminate that completely. Completely, it won't even be a factor. So I have some ideas, and then I presented them. So hopefully, one of the big game distributors can, will like what I have to offer, and then see where we can work on some ETGs and standalone electronic games and video poker and stuff like that.
Okay, let's get close. We're getting close to wrapping this up, but I just
Yeah.
want to ask you, what if you're a new game developer out there, which there's going to be a few watching this video,
Yes.
what would you say? Now, patent's hard to
Yeah.
to get.
Yeah.
What do you think is the best way to protect your game?
To be honest, there is no easy way to protect it. Now, get yourself a really good patent attorney. We use Richard Newman from Newman Law. He's amazing. We file everything, copyright, trademarks, and patents, right? But get yourself a good patent. Get out there. You have to at least cover those bases. One of the best ways that I tell my team that we can protect ourselves is that we can look in the rearview mirror and keep an eye on who's copying us, right? Who's taking our games, right? Let's keep forward and just innovating, stay ahead of the game. I can't do anything about it. Tomorrow, somebody might make a copy of 3-Shot Poker, right? I don't know. It's probably, but what's funny is when people don't copy my game, that's when I get upset because I've already had 2 games that have been copied that I've seen a version of it. I'm like, wait, that looks so much like what we did 2 years ago. And so now I get a little offended when I don't see somebody trying to copy my game. I'm like, was it not good enough?
Yeah.
So, but to be honest, there's nothing you can do. I encourage you to get a good patent attorney. Not only that, but you can do some really good patent research and stuff like that. One of the best things about the Table Games Conference that I really like is that get out there first. I have a feeling there's a lot of good integrity with these operators where they see a game, they see a guy like me, mom and pop operation, and you come up with a game. Get yourself out there, let it be seen first before everybody else, because that way at least gives you a head start and people are going to go, wait, no, that's Angel's game. That's 3-Shot Poker. I have operators call me and go, hey, there's a guy here presenting a game like your so-and-so game. Is that you? It's like, no, that's not my game. And they're like, huh, well, I ain't gonna take a copycat. And I love that. I love that. So by getting in the Table Games Conference, I encourage them, get out there, get exposure, be the first one out there. It's almost like a land grab. Get out there first, try to get placements first, try to be the first one. Now, yes, you're vulnerable because they're not issuing patents right now. It's not as easy as it was. But that's all I can say is try to get out there ahead and then and try to keep evolving, try to keep innovating. That's the only thing that we can do is just stay ahead of the game. And then we can talk. Then the only way we can really compete is pricing. We don't have a brick and mortar. I can't charge you $500, $900 a placement. So what we're doing is a site license, $900 unlimited games. 5 games that we have developed, plus the 5 more that are coming in the year or two. Those are all yours. 10 games for $900. That's the only way I can compete with the big wigs, because I don't have a big overhead and brick and mortar.
Well,
So that's
I've consulted for a few game developers, and my after going through the experience myself, I have 2 games in the world.
awesome.
They both were, it's crazy. They both were relatively successful,
Awesome.
not localized in a regional market.
Uh-huh.
But the thing is, during the course of these games, they had to change names.
Right.
Right. And I found out one of the key things is a trademark. Trademarks
Correct.
can't be taken away like, copying with no patent. So if you trademark a
Yes.
name, so Kleenex, everybody asks for Kleenex. Kleenex is a brand of facial tissue,
It's
but 99%
yeah.
of the time when a person comes up to your table and says, "Hey, can you give me a Kleenex?" They don't ask you for a facial
Yeah.
tissue or a puff or whatever. They ask you for Kleenex.
No.
So it's
Yeah.
just like it's like a perfect example in our world is high card flush. High card flush has
Right.
been copied by 2 vendors now. There's trying to think. I love suits. I love
I
suits
love
is and I'll tell you what, you could put a high card flush right next to an I love suits, and the high card flush will always
yeah.
outperform the I love suits. Why? The payoffs are exactly the same. The
Right. Yeah.
layout's the same. There's a couple wordings that are different,
The same. Yeah. The
but that's
payout
the
might be
thing.
different.
So it's very important the name you get. Like your
It's
your
very important.
your
Very
your
important.
barbecue.
Yeah.
You could call it 7-6 Chinese checkers or so, whatever you want, but it's not
Yeah.
going to have the same effect as calling
Yeah.
it
And that's
barbecue
what
baccarat.
that's why we went with 5 card pie gow, because the name itself describes the game. The name of the game describes the game. What is this 5 card pie gow? Done.
Yeah. So
If somebody copies and pastes my game, they're gonna call it pie gow, mysterious,
yeah.
whatever, and magnificent pie gow. But then they're gonna go, what is this? I go, no, this is not 5 card pie gow. This is 5 card pie gow. So that's why we were very meticulous on naming it, because we wanted people to resonate and go, oh, I want to play 5 card pie gow. Well, there it is. That's the game. That's the name.
Well, Angel, as always, it's been great speaking with you, and
Uh,
I wish you luck at this. I hope somebody beats you.
thank you.
I really do, because
I,
somebody we need some competition because
Oh
these
yes,
blow
and I
these
love the
blow,
new developers that are coming out. I think we shook the industry. I think we woke up a sleeping giant. There's
there's
a
a
lot of
herd of
new
people in this
developers.
one, isn't there? It's
Yeah,
crazy. I mean, every day Richard's posting,
new people.
elephant blackjack or what the hell? There
Yeah,
can't. Where are these people
yeah.
coming from? But
I
I
love
hope one
it.
of them. I'll tell you what I really liked, and I hate to go backwards, but I'm going back. There was a game last year. I don't know if you've seen it.
Mhm.
It had to do with Pai Gow tiles, I think, or
Oh,
it was an Asian game. It was
uh-huh,
over. I can't remember what it was. I loved
uh-huh,
that game, and it didn't.
uh-huh,
It didn't get. It didn't get in the top 3 because of you. You took up the top 1 for sure, and there was a
yeah,
couple more. But there's
uh-huh,
people out there, and I really give them
yeah.
credit. And
Oh, 1,000%. Yes.
I
I give them credit because I know where it's been. I was there. I was the guy with the 10 by 10, and they had a little graphic, a little game, and I didn't know how to sell. That's why I always support these guys. I introduce myself to them, and if you have any questions, I give them my resources. I'll give them my math guy, my patent guy, my layout designer. To me, we're the little guys trying to help each other out. There's a big pie. There's enough for everybody, you know?
it's hard for me as a consultant to say your baby's ugly. But I got to be honest, and
Yeah.
sometimes you have to say that. And the look
Yeah.
on a person's face when you tell them their baby's ugly
Yeah.
is,
Well, the hardest part is telling a new developer that never dealt and tell them about game protection. There's some games that I'm like, no, man, that wouldn't work. I was like, why? There's easy, you're exposing a card, or I can count cards, there's marking, there's this, there's collusion. And they don't understand what I'm saying. I'm like, I would change maybe just because, and then I'll try to explain why or the why not, but then I just give them information and I'm like, hey, take it for what you want. But if I'm gonna give some critique, at least I want to help in the critique. So I do what I can with what I got.
Well, Angel, like I said, good luck. Good
Thank
luck in
you.
your ventures.
I
I
appreciate it.
know you're going to go really far. I can't wait to see when your team busts into the iGaming world over the
Thank you.
next decade. It's going to be crazy.
We're
So,
excited about that.
any last words for our viewers?
Uh, yes. Well, first of all, thank you for having me on the show. I really appreciate it. You've had such a great guest. Well, just keep an eye out for what we're doing. I appreciate all the new developers. I want to give a big shout out to all the developers. Keep your dreams alive. Keep it going. If you have any questions, reach out to me. I always like to help you. Always the industry is not over. One thing for your viewers, table games is not dead. I've heard dealers are the shoe shiners of the industry. I've heard that from an operator. I tell you what, we're going to change the game. And I hope we inspire new developers. Don't give up on your dream. Keep fighting for that. And we're just here to change and innovate. And hopefully we improve the industry. That's what we're about.
There's no doubt. So, folks,
Thank you.
listen, if you want to know what's going on in table games and more, you got to be in the know. So make sure you watch the next one. And down here is a subscribe button. You got to subscribe. Man, my channel's blown up in the last few months here.
Yeah,
Angel,
yeah.
I don't know what's going on. Maybe I've
That's
finally hit
good.
the
You're doing the right
algorithm or
thing.
whatever is, the critical mass is
You're
finally
doing the right
starting.
thing. You're
Yeah,
doing
so
the right thing. I
I'm
appreciate
really
it.
I'm really excited about that. So make sure you like, share, subscribe, hit that smash the like button. You know what? The like button makes a big difference.
It does.
My wife has a lot of people like her, unlike me, but she got a lot of people like her, and they smashed that like button, and the views and the subscribers went crazy. So yeah,
Awesome.
it means a lot. If you think it's
Yes,
not important when you go to the YouTube channels, it does. It means a lot. So
it
we'll
does mean
catch
a
you on
lot.
the next one. And
Awesome.
remember, be in the know.
See you. Thank you.